Hi everybody, it's Alice with It's a Cake Bakery. Today I got an order to do a red velvet vintage style heart cake. I've already added in my simple syrup and now what I'm doing is simply frosting the cake. Now whenever you're doing a vintage cake, please have a lot of time because they are very detailed and it could take 2 to 3 hours to even do a 10-inch cake. Now I went on and added my top layer and then I'm putting on my crumb coat. I'm just frosting away now. This style of cake is very trending now. It's called the vintage style cake. Now, once I frost it, I'm going to go ahead and set it in the fridge for 15 to 20 minutes. This is your crumb coat. Now that it's set, I'm going to go ahead and add my second layer of frosting and get it very smooth. Now that I have it smooth, I am now using tip number 40 to do a ruffled lace around the bottom. You do not have to have a ruffled lace around the bottom. I just think putting the lace around the edges of the board of the cake makes it look more vintage. Now I'm using that same tip number 40 and I'm going around the top. Now you want to make sure your tip is directly on the flat surface of the top so that the ruffles will come out real neat. Now what I'm doing is using tip number 30 and putting more designs in the middle of the cake edges. Remember with vintage cake, the more details and different styles you have, the better it is. Now what I'm using here, I've just put in some colored sugar to go ahead and give more details in the middle. A lot of people call this sprinkles, whatever your preference is. And because I think the color is too bland, I went on and added in some more brighter colored sprinkles and shiny elements, all edible, to make it have a more detailed design in the middle. Now what I'm using is a star design to give more of a star ruffled. That's tip number 30. I'm using frosting tip number 30 to go around all the edges of the top, and I will also do this at the bottom. The more different designs you have on a vintage cake, the better it is. Now what I'm doing, I have a toothpick. Now you can use the end of a cup to do your loop on here. That's just so you have something to follow. Now I'm going through with my tip 30 and I'm doing the ruffles along the edge. This is your ruffled loops. And remember with a vintage cake, it can take 2 to 3 hours or more to complete a vintage cake due to all the details. There we go. And if you can see that line there, I'm just following that line that I've made. All right, now I'm back to tip number 30. I'm going ahead putting those star tips on the bottom. This just gives it a more detailed cake appearance. Now I am using tip number 12 to do a thin line rope. You want to be careful because these ropes can pull and fall apart. So this is an area you want to be really careful to get your string or your string ropes lined up with your other loops. Now what I'm doing, I'm going in, and vintage cake is very known for pearls. You can use any color pearl depending on the color of the cake that you're doing. I'm adding in pearls every now and again, and now I've added in my topper. I've also made some fresh flowers to go on the top, and there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions below, and please, as always, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. See you on the next video.